Today, we are coming to you from Devil's Den State Park near West Fork, Arkansas.
We are camping in the Eloop of the campground here at Devil's Den, and it is one of the best state parks that we have ever been to. You are going to see some gorgeous, huge, full hookup sites that are the premier things that the Arkansas state parks have at their campgrounds.
This state park has so much to offer, and we're going to show you around. We're in Site 88, but don't ever book this one because it's so awesome that we always want it available for us. Just kidding, this one just has some incredible features that we want to show you.
The campsites have paved parking spots and they are pretty long. You can see that we can get our big rig in here, and our neighbors have an even bigger, more beautiful fifth wheel next to us too. And they have these extra parking spots which make it great to scoot your truck out of the way, or if you've got a guest visiting, there's plenty of room to park.
Right off the driveway is a spot that has your lantern hook, your fire pit, your picnic table, and a grill.
Next to the paved RV site is a bonus. You get a fabulous, flat, rock-free tent site. So if you've got friends and family where you want to put up a tent, or for us, this is like a great place to put our gazebo up so we have some extra covered outdoor seating. And that could also go over our picnic table that's here too. These sites here are great.
One of the best things about all of these sites is the amount of tree coverage there is. Look at the amazing shade and seclusion that all of these trees provide.
All of the sites in the Eloop are full hookup sites. So they're gonna have a sewer connection, they're gonna have electric with 50 amp service, and they're gonna have a water pedestal. And one of the best things about Arkansas state parks is that the water pedestals are insulated, which allows most of these parks to be open year round. So even though our temperatures got down into the 30s last night, we didn't even have to worry about our water freezing up.
Instead of a large open dumpster, this loop has these bear-safe trash canisters. If you've watched any of our campground reviews, you know that I always appreciate paved streets, which keep down any of the dust that you might find on gravel roads.
As far as cell signal in the campground, there is none. So it doesn't matter what carrier you have, you're not going to get any cell signal in the campground itself. Sometimes when you're up high on a trail, you might get a little bit. Now, television service, you're going to get a few over-the-air TV channels. So I think we had about 8 that pulled in and worked fairly well, scattered on and off throughout the day. You can purchase Wi-Fi coverage, and you can pay anything from $3 for like 1 hour for a device, and it gives you different options. So if you really need to have some signal to do work for internet stuff, you do have that option, and it does work pretty well. Connecting the 2 loops of the campground is the Woody Plant Trail, and it's just a nice little trail that goes through the woods on the outside of the campground loop and has access to the creek down here, and it is so beautiful. What a great place to come sit down, splash in the water, or just sit and read and enjoy a book.
The Eloop has 2 bath and shower houses. Currently, because of the COVID pandemic, they're alternating days. One of them is open on odd numbered days, one of them is open on even numbered days.
The shower houses are very clean. There's a couple of toilet stalls in there and a few shower stalls, typical campground ones that you would expect, but they are kept very clean. One end of the campground on the Eloop has a really nice ball field where you could gather up some friends and play kickball or softball, whatever. What a great field to play in. Another trail that you can access here at the Eloop is the Lake Trail, and this is a 1-mile trail that's going to take you here from the campground right next to one of the shower houses, and you can take it all the way up to where the dam is and the lake.
If you're in need of a dump station, they do have one right at the entrance to the campground loop. Also at the mouth of the Eloop is an amphitheater. What a beautiful setting for an evening movie or a ranger program.
One of the bonus features here at Devil's Den State Park is the fact that they have a dedicated equestrian campground. So if you like to go camping and bring your horses, this is the place to come. All of the horse camp sites have electricity and water, and there's plenty of space to get your trailer in here with your horse, your camper, and they have some dedicated horse trails as well. Section D of the campground is labeled as a group site and has several smaller sites that just have electric, no water, no sewer, and the electric is just 30 amp or your regular outlets. But it is kind of nestled down in here where you could have a bunch of friends and family together to camp, and there is a little vault toilet area.
They have some really awesome but small cabins. They are virtually brand new. They look really nice. And they have a screened-in porch area on the front of each cabin.
In addition to RV camping, tent camping, and cabin camping, you can backpack here as well. There is the 15-mile Butterfield trail that you can do here. It is labeled as strenuous, and it is gorgeous because you get to go out in the middle of the woods where no one else is. So if you love to backpack, head on out to this trail.
The dam here at Devil's Den State Park took over a year to complete, and the Civilian Conservation Corps finished everything up in 1937.
In the spring and early summer, the area at the dam is actually a huge waterfall, which is really beautiful, and you'll see lots of people coming to splash in the creek down below. In the lake above, in the summertime, you can rent paddle boats and canoes. We did that when our son and our now daughter-in-law came down here to have their engagement pictures taken, so that was a super fun activity. There's also a beautiful swimming pool that's open in the summer and a little cafe restaurant that you can have a snack at during the summertime as well. The best things about camping at Devil's Den State Park is the amount of trails that are here. Here's another trail. This is the Civilian Conservation Corps Interpretive Trail, and you can hike up to one of the old housing areas where the people who were working on the trails used to live. In addition to hiking and horseback riding, you can also do mountain bike riding here at Devil's Den State Park, and the Fossil Flats Trail is the one to do. They have 3 different loops that you can try out. Great place for beginners to get their feet wet on trying mountain biking. One thing that's good to note if you are coming to this park is that there is very heavy day use traffic on the weekends. So if you're looking for seclusion, come during the week. We got here on a Thursday and it was so quiet. But starting on Saturday morning, it is crowded with people out here doing lots of fun things. But if you don't want to be around a lot of people, avoid the weekends. The Devil's Den Trail is probably the most popular trail at the park, and they even give you that warning in the brochure. So if you can visit it on a weekday, do that. But it's popular for a reason. It is on the National Recreational Trail list, and it has a waterfall, it's got Devil's Ice Box, and it has a cave. So this is one you're gonna want to do. It's only 1.5 miles long, and it is spectacular, but try to do it on a weekday.
They do have a visitor center here at Devil's Den. Just right next to the visitor center is a laundry facility, which is acceptable. And then they also have some cabins right there nearby as well.
In the visitor center, that's where you go to check in when you arrive for camping. So if you arrive late at night like us, you do have to make sure that by 10 a.m. the next morning that you go check in there and pay any additional fees that you haven't paid for online. If you are a tent camper, the Eloop has you covered. They have lots of tent sites that do not have electricity or water, but they're great and they're right down here by the river. There are also 8 hike-in sites if you want to get a little further in. In addition, it has the trailhead for a very unique hiking experience, the Lee Creek Trail. So half of this trail is through the woods, but then the second half comes back down through the creek bed. And so during the wet weather season, you're definitely going to want to have water shoes. It doesn't usually get any deeper than about 2 feet, but if it is a rushing water season, you may want to skip that part. But normally you can do that and kind of wade through the creek and see all the fossils in the fossil beds, and it is a really fun trail to do.
Well, every state park is mostly awesome, but not everything is perfect. So let's do a few pros and cons. Let's start with anything that maybe isn't just perfect. I would say one thing that comes to mind might just be that it's such a beautiful area, it's popular and therefore a little crowded, especially on the weekends.
Yeah. Now, I would not say that really about the campground itself, though. I mean, yes, the campgrounds are full, but because the way they have it laid out, that's not a problem that it's a full campground. The problem is if you go anywhere near the trails or the day use areas on a weekend, there just are a lot of people. So if you have the luxury of being able to camp on a weekday, you're going to want to do that instead. It's not a horrible con.
No, it's not bad, and our campground area has just been incredible.
It is.
The only other thing that's just not perfect is that the roads around here are a little up and down, and certainly lots of twisties and some switchbacks, so you do have to be cognizant about which way to enter the park if you have a larger rig.
Yeah, so when you're coming in, you're going to be coming in off of I-49, and you're going to see a sign that's going to tell you 2 different exits, and you're going to want to take exit 53 if you are coming with any kind of a trailer or fifth wheel. So exit 53 is the one to take, not exit 45.
And 53 is West Fork, so that's
yes,
an easy
yes.
thing
So
to
you're
see.
taking the West Fork exit, not the Winslow exit. So when you take that one, you'll come in on Highway 120, and it is not a problem at all. Again, we pull a 34-foot fifth wheel and made it no problem, and the people camping next to us made it in here with an over 40-foot fifth wheel. So you really can make it in without a problem if you take the right exit. If you come in on 45, which if you're a day use person and you're just coming down to hike and stuff, not a problem. But it is super twisty. So you're gonna come in on Highway 74 on that way, the Winslow exit, and it is lots and lots of switchbacks. But in the fall especially,
oh, it's beautiful.
It's worth the drive. So even if you come in with your camper, unhook, go take that drive, especially if it's the fall, because it's a beautiful tree tunnel full of just gorgeousness.
What's some stuff that's awesome?
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
this has been an amazing state park experience. There are 6 or 7 trails you can do,
oh,
and
yeah.
they cater either to horses or mountain bikes or hikers. I mean, that's amazing. The campgrounds are super wooded, lots of trees and privacy.
Yeah.
And then you have all the major amenities here, from the
yes.
pool and the boat rentals, and so many things.
Yeah, it does. It has everything. Arkansas does state parks right, and their campgrounds are phenomenal. So if you ever get the luxury to come down here, Arkansas is a hidden gem. I know people don't think of, oh, let's go to Arkansas for a vacation. It's worth it. The Devil's Den State Park Campground in Arkansas is definitely a campground that we recommend. It's fabulous. We love it. You've got to check it out.
So get out and explore, because today is an adventure day.